If you're a singer that can sing in all keys, good for you. Like that's your amazing talent. I don't know how long you've had it, but that's good for you. But if you can't, if you know, I think everyone has a key that they're comfortable with singing in. Mine certainly not being in this key, but if you ever want to start singing and you've tried countless times and you know and you found yourself, I don't know, like trying to attempt songs like Adele, you know, and it just never worked out. I think mainly it might be because you're probably not in the key that you're in the comfortable range. I mean, that's just me. Don't take it from me. I'm not a very good singer myself, but for me anyway, that's what I've realized. It's like you sing a song and you're not in that key, like you're not in the key to win, and you know, you might sound like a frog, but then another song you sound quite decent. So I mean, yeah, that could probably mean you're in key. Someone sings in every key, more like screaming. Yeah, you can scream, you know. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things. So I grew up as a like a metalhead. Metalhead, but I also appreciated jazz and fusion. So I listened to a lot of oldies, and I mean it's oldies now, but back then it wasn't. Yeah, I was a huge fan. 저는 진짜 어렸을 때 맨날 그러니까 밴드 음악인데 호주는 특히나 그 문화가 너무나 컸어요. 저는 이제 예술학교 다니긴 했는데 그 학교에 맨날 음악만 거의 맨날 하고 하다 보니까 그 맛에 저는 진짜 맨날 학교 가고 막 그랬는데. I like a lot of artists, yes. 아유, 감사합니다. 그래가지고 옛날에는 진짜 막 끝없이 맨날 학교 끝나면 친구 집에 가가지고 맨날 어디지? 가라지에 가가지고 창고에 맨날 이제 그냥 맨날 막 음악하고 막 그랬는데 옛날 생각이 많네요. 예. Oh yes, Latin music, absolutely love it. I love the Spanish guitar, and yes, I would say my taste is very versatile. I love Rex Orange County. I honestly love all of the indie scene. You know. Yeah, you got Cuco, Boy Pablo, you know. Yeah, Keshi has some amazing songs too. I like to check him out too, you know. Sorry, you would at least at one point would have had a run-in with rock in any type of form, honestly. You know, everyone had a whole emo phase, like, you know, like they were, you know, My Chemical Romance, they used, you know, that little freaking emo phase, Story of the Year, you know, but I don't think I was that much into the emo phase. I kind of skipped, I was into it for like a couple of months, and then I went heavy into, I guess I was heavy into metal straight away. So yeah, that was always fun. I was a more of a metalhead, you know, hardcore metal. So back then they used to do this thing called hardcore dancing, where it looks like you're trying to. So you go in a mosh pit, and they have like these dances that you do in the mosh pit. Yes, believe it or not, you actually did. If you're a hardcore kid, you went into these mosh pits, and every time they break down, and they have something called the two-step beat, where it goes, and every time they do that, there's like a dance for that. I know, and it's called the two-step, I believe, at the time. And it literally looks like you're shooing away flies and bees. 그러니까 진짜 그게 너무 재밌었는데. Yeah, but I used to do that too. He wasn't emo, just depressed. Yeah, I went to mosh pits. I was glad that I came out alive, you know. So yeah. Spanish rock. I don't think I've heard too much Spanish rock. I think I might give it a try. If you do you like the song Mr. Brightside? I think everyone grew up with that song. Oh yeah, of course I know Corn. Yeah, I think everyone grew up with Mr. Brightside. I think it was more in the mainstream side. I remember listening to that. But I love Mr. Brightside. Especially I love the lyrics. The music video, oh, that blew me away, you know. And I'm gonna go sleep soon. Try find bang tangerine. Tangerine Rye. Okay, I'll remember that. Tangerine Rye. Happy birthday, Prachi. Baby metal. Well, I mean that is a form of metal. It's these three lovely Japanese. I think. Yeah, I think they're not kids, right? Yeah, no, they're ladies, I believe. But I love that subfusion genre of Japanese metal as well. It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm a night owl. Yeah. I should make my own signature. I don't know what that could be. Should it be coming to you, Ian? That wouldn't make sense because coming to you live is an actual news thing. You can't really go coming to you, Ian. 그러게 태그라인을 생각을 안 해봤네요. Don't try tying my hair. Yeah, I can try tying my hair. But yeah, I think in general, when I was young, the rock that I used to listen to was very yeah, not many people knew about it other than, you know, the scene that we had. You know, I used to listen to like Suicide Silence. Well, everyone knows Job for a Cowboy. Alicia, I believe they were called. Obviously, Parkway Drive was Australian representative, so kind of Carpathian was also Australian rep. I Killed the Prom Queen, Australian rep. There's a lot, you know. Bury Your Dead. Bury the Dead is by a Comeback Kid, but Bury Your Dead was a hardcore band. Terror. Again. There's a lot, you know. I can Funeral for a Friend, you know. I love The Neighborhood, yes. Do I know Troye Sivan? Yes, I believe Troye Sivan's from Australia as well. Yeah. Drop Dead Gorgeous, yes. Bring Me the Horizon. Under Oath. Yeah, man, there's a lot. I just Kill Switch Engage. Silverstein or Silverstein. I've never really understood how to pronounce that. You know, Census Failed. Yeah, I can go on forever. Like, honestly, I went to a lot of the shows, watched a lot of shows. Was part of the mosh bands. Yeah. You are Drop Dead Gorgeous. Thank you. So are you. So are you, love. Bullet for My Valentines, of course. Do I like Kylie Minogue? I don't think I've ever. I never had an opinion about her. Honestly, I've watched her a lot growing up because she was repping Australia hard. So I guess I've always supported her in that sense. Yeah, but I've never really thought about that. I will perform in the US once COVID becomes clear. Hopefully soon. But till then, everyone just stay safe. Oh yeah, I love black. Obviously, I look like a teenager. And that's a good thing. Well, it could be the lighting. 데, 댓글 막혔어요? 감사합니다. 제 음악 취향이 근데 좀 많이 어렸을 때는 좀 많이 컸죠. So yeah, I mean when I was a kid, yeah, my inspiration was all types of layered music. I loved layered music. Speaking of layered music, I think Sigur Rós. I think they're Icelandic. Not too sure, but them too. I was always inspired by them. They're like hugs. I love hugs. If you're planning to give one, yeah. Will you? What is that? I love. Oh, okay. Hello from the States. Sigur Rós, yes. Walls of Jericho, of course. Most Precious Blood. They're also one of my favorites. Yeah, I mean, shit, I can go on forever, honestly. Favorite film director, Tim Burton. It would have to be Tim Burton. We have to be Tim Burton. Yeah. Cigarettes after sex. Yes. Why not? I'm just joking. I like them too. Ti amo. So I mean, yeah. Oh yes. I love bossa nova music. I would share my playlist, but it's on my phone, and my phone currently right now is on live. So, a lot of countries I would love to travel to. Wink if I'm happy. Definitely. It's about 5 a.m. So, your music taste is chef's kiss. I don't know what a chef's kiss is. I'm guessing it's correct me if I'm wrong. When am I dropping new music? Interesting question. The Beach Boys, yeah. Still some covers and some. Circuit dance. Yeah, I should give that a try. Zombie pop. Do I love 21 songs? Yes, I do. I support 21 all the way, But yeah, Zombie Pop was honestly like I made that song in like 40 minutes. It was actually for the video. I did not expect people to like, really enjoy it. So, being in it. AC/DC, Akadaka. Who doesn't love AC/DC? I remember I think I was trying to sing like AC/DC, and then my voice cracked. I think that was during my puberty, and that's when my voice like changed. And I thought it was because I tried to imitate Akadaka. But yeah, it was just because I was hitting puberty, and yeah, and that was I. Ever since then, I kind of stopped singing or stopped trying to sing AC/DC because I just couldn't, obviously. But because it just, I don't know, it left an impression that my voice would change. Cheers from Amsterdam. Absolutely, I loved it there. By the way, the Beatles. Oh yes, who does not like the Beatles? I like you a lot too, and it's good that you're happy. Um, hmm. Any words of inspiration for an aspiring songwriter and singer? Honestly, for me, the advice I can give you guys, is, I don't know, just don't stop. Honestly, like for me anyway, like I always thought that was that I kind of realize a lot of people tend to stop because they start filling their like heads with everyone else's like opinions, and like it's, I don't know, it's always that. It's always somebody else telling you something, not agreeing with a certain thing, and that always throws you off. There's no such thing as it has to be this, or it has to sound like this, or it has to be like this for a lot of people to listen to, or it has to be like this for it to be like it to pop off. I always thought that was such a buzzkill when you started, I don't know, like seeing or writing songs based on what you thought it had to be, based on what other people were like telling you it should be. So I kind of felt that was a huge buzzkill for any aspiring artists in general. So I just tend to shut that off. Honestly, who gives a fuck? And you should just honestly just go for what you want. Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? Like, and if people like you for doing you, then that's great. That's how people should like you for. If people start liking you for doing things that isn't you, then that isn't you. And I don't think you can keep that up for very long, because at the end of the day, you're probably not going to be happy, because you're ultimately going to be trying to keep up somebody that you're not. And that will ultimately end you giving up, or that will lead you to give up a lot of things. So I mean, yeah, that's just the only advice I have. Honestly, like, I feel like the whole technical and the skill aspect comes with as much passion as you have for it. Honestly, anyone's capable of anything. That's why I never look down on anyone, because everyone is capable of everything. It just depends really on who tells you that you can't do it, and who supports you. Surround yourself with people that support you. And if you look around and there's no one that supports you, then just get out of there. Honestly, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's all I can say, honestly. Yeah. But other than that, yeah. If anyone else has any questions, yeah. Lithuania, hello. Do I have a brother? 'Cause I'm hot. I don't have a brother. To Eric Coreano, I'm guessing yes. When I visualize characters in my songs, are they similar to me, or are they different to me? That is a very good question. the characters that I design in my head all have a part of me that gets included. How my character design works is if I don't imagine that to be me, I have a very hard time drawing up that character at all. You know. 이상형요? 곧 알려드리겠습니다. So for me, drawing up a character in my head has always had some type of relevance to a part of me. And that's how I draw inspiration from that. And it could be like and you know, it doesn't always have to be like my characteristics. It could also be like, for example, when I was 18, I used to be reckless. Like I used to be, I used to be dumb and I used to be wild. But that's a part of me that as growing up, I feel like has diminished. But that's not to say I still, I should forget it. So I still remember that. I still remember how I felt back then. And so from those memories of who I was, that was a part of me, I would muster up a character. And that's essentially me, would it not be? 제 이상형이요? 그러게요. 제 이상형이 계속 바뀌는 것 같아서 이상형이 일단 뭐 어렵네요. 진짜 약간 외적인 것도 뭐 말로 표현할 수가 없고 그냥 보면 알아요. 그게 뭔지 모르겠어요. 그냥 보면 알아요. I think so that's essentially what my characters are built from. Lots of love from Bulgaria. Yeah. Do you want to do movies or photographs in the future? I would love to do movies, of course, being a director. Not a movie director, but maybe one day. What about a song for your mom? I honestly wouldn't say I haven't tried. I have tried making a song for her. I think it's a part of me that wants the song to be perfect for her. That makes me like, as I'm doing it, I want to make it even better. So I scrap it because I feel like it's not good enough. Because I just want it to be the perfect song. And you can't rush that. It's got to really, really come out and I feel like there's a right time and the right moment for that to come out. But yes, I have definitely tried. Do I want to have kids? Yeah, why not? I would love to make mini-me's with someone that I love and I cherish. Essentially, it would be mini-me's and mini-hers. So yeah. 졸리지만 갈 수가 없어요. 아이고. 저도 이제 곧 갈게요. 저도 이제 졸리기 시작해가지고 좀만 참으면 돼요. I would love to visit Nepal. Yeah, I would love to visit Nepal. What's your Myers-Briggs personality type? I haven't looked into. I remember it was an INFJ, I believe. I don't know. The only reason I remember that is because I don't know what anything else is, but I got INFJ, and the funny thing is I didn't bother to look at what it was. So I'm sorry, I can't provide you any more information than that. 아유, 감사합니다. 영어 할 때 섹시하다고. 제가 영어를 잘 뭐라 해야지? 영어를 그러니까 한국말 할 때는 이 목소리 톤이 바뀌어요. 왜냐면 한국말은 생각하면서 해야 돼요. 그래서 편하게 못 해가지고 좀 그런 게 있어요. 그래가지고 네. 죄송해요. 제가 한국말 섞어가면서 할게요. Yeah. So introvert. So I means introvert. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, maybe that's possibly the case. I don't really like going out. I'm a homebody person. I never. I don't. I'm not. I really. Well, when I was young, I used to go out and party, but I don't know. For the last 6 years or seven, I just. I don't know. I couldn't. I couldn't enjoy it. I just didn't like going out. 안녕하세요. Well, I don't know. I don't really. Date with. I don't know what that is. 오빠, 내 댓글에 보인다면 당근을 외쳐라. 당근. 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 When did I notice my passion was art? I don't think I've noticed that. I think I only noticed that when somebody points that out, if that makes sense. Ever since I was a kid, I was keen on making something. I didn't know if that was art. I didn't know what it was called, but I remember I wanted to translate how I felt. Not in that moment, but let's say after I watched like a musical that blew me away. I felt like sharing that. I felt like holding on to that feeling by myself, knowing it only by myself, was too much of a waste. And I remember I wanted to replicate that feeling, but how can you do that? Like, how do you replicate watching like a huge spectacular musical at the age of 10? How do you translate that to your kid? Sorry, not to your kids, to your friends that are kids, because you're a kid. How do you translate that? And I just didn't know how to do it. So I remember I tried finding the songs that were played in that musical. And and back then we had like Walkmans, but I remember I made my friends listen to it while I was like sitting next to him and explaining to him each scene that I could remember at each specific time of the song. And I don't know, I think from then on I never stopped imagining, and I never stopped wanting to replicate how I felt every time I had like a breathtaking moment. Sad and happy. How am I? I'm great. This musical was, I tried looking for it, but I couldn't find it. I remember it was in French, I believe, but it was based on clowns. And I know what you guys might be thinking. It wasn't like a circus type of clowns. It wasn't those scary clowns. It was like these very artistic clowns. I think they were from France, and they didn't speak they didn't speak at all. They didn't look too much like clowns, but they were showing the sad part, the sad side of being a clown, of wanting to make everyone laugh, but not really laughing themselves, if that makes any sense. And it was really breathtaking, because the way they incorporated sonic and visuals kind of blew me away as a kid. I still remember the last scene, that last moment when this clown finally found happiness. Ironically, it's a clown that they're meant to make you laugh. And this clown, he finally found happiness, and it was like the simplest thing. It was a flower that was growing out of the ground. And he stopped and he looked at it, and as he was going down to touch the flower, in front of the flower, or a huge, like, I guess the whole doors opened, and the walls opened, and all of a sudden there was like this gigantic fan, and the fan was just blowing so hard, like extremely hard. And with the fan came this thunder-like music, and the clown was getting pushed away. Like, that was how strong it was. However, as the clown was getting pushed away, he was still trying to protect the flower that was stuck in the ground. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, that's the type of person I want to be. But more than that, it was just so breathtaking. And I remember the colors, and I remember how it felt. And I think that was the first time I realized what it meant to get goosebumps seeing something in a very inspiring way. So that was the one scene I remember. It was crazy. Yeah. But anyway, it does sound like a lot like The Little Prince, but it was a clown. Words you want to hear from people. That's a very interesting question. I don't think I've ever wanted to hear something from somebody. I like listening. I think listening is probably one of the hardest things you can do. But you've never... 비유는 놀랍습니다. Yeah, I think I like listening. I think the one awkward thing about any type of live streams, or like lives, or streams in general, where you have a person talking to the camera, is there's no interaction. There's a lot of me talking. It's a lot of me, like how my day's been, and how this is this, and what I think of this, and granted, it is purely the whole point of this. However, I think I've always tended not to be so comfortable with that, in a sense, or because I don't know, I like listening to people. I like asking them a lot of questions, and I feel like with a lot of this evolving, I feel like we're beginning to forget how to communicate a lot to each other. That's why we have a lot of fights, and I feel like that's why there's wars, and there's all types of things. But in the end, I think people should listen more. Listening. I think that does everything. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe next time you're talking to a friend, and you have this urge to say something, because it's in your head, and you've always, you're waiting to say it so badly that you don't hear what your friend's been saying for the last 30 minutes. I don't know, I would say just stop and literally try listening. It could be interesting. Do I often feel awkward with someone new? No, I don't. I don't feel awkward with anyone new. I think it comes from the mentality of what's there to be awkward about? If you really think about it, right? Like, that person is going to be different from you, regardless. You can't expect that person to like you. You should drop that assumption. If you want that person to like you, I think that's also a very interesting and, I don't know, thing to think about. If you go into meeting somebody hoping that they would like you, or hoping you don't screw up this and that, I think that usually tends to lead into awkwardness. But if you yourself, and if it's kind of like the attitude of, this is me, honestly, and if this person likes me for being me, then great. But if he or she doesn't, then really, then why bother? It's you should surround yourself with people that that do appreciate you. I mean, this brings me back to my point of like music too, like, or anything you do. You don't have to justify yourself being someone that you're not. I think it's just, it's like, I get it. I get why everyone would do it, but honestly, that's, at the end of the day, you will get tired of that. And when you get tired, you just want to be alone. Could be different from everyone, I'm sure, but me anyway, personally, yeah, that's just me. You love me since day one. Well, thank you. I'll love you till day of infinity. But yeah, so that's just what I think. I tend to not to want to get too stirred up in what people think, and what people expect of you, and that's all great. But you can always choose not to. Talking to someone new is always tiresome. Well, I mean, yes, it could be. I mean, it depends how you go into it, right? If you've always gone into a conversation, thinking you're going to go through the whole book again from start to end, then yes, it is very tiring. It's tiring just even giving energy. Listening is also a huge. It's giving energy a lot. So that's why I say listening is probably one of the hardest things to do. Talking is easy, I can talk about myself forever if I wanted to. But listening is hard, It is. And that usually comes a lot from also having to put oneself aside, putting one's ego away as well. That requires a lot of listening. And then, yeah. Oh dear. What is that? Just reading the questions. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, if people if you choose to go to a Mahakita, sorry. I mean, I don't know, you can therapy too. I've had my fair share with therapy. But I don't know, like, if I think therapy is also that type of form. Therapy works because, if you think about it, you want someone to listen to you. Again, this is a very what's up, Dre? Yes, you are a very good listener. So, it brings me back to the whole idea of listening. Therapy works because it's in the whole idea of you want to be heard. So you go find somebody that you don't know to listen to you, and that's what they'll do. because that's what therapy is. They sit down and they listen to you. Most of the times, if you really think about it, not you don't want your problems to be fixed. You don't tell somebody, you don't talk to somebody or rant, or you don't go off because you want them to fix it. But ultimately, it's just you just want to be heard. So in that sense, based off of that, then you can become a therapist as well, right? You can, for a friend or someone special that's close to you, or not even. It might that he or she might not even have to be that special somebody in your life. You could just listen, and that will save so much, I think. So often we don't listen, that usually this, I feel like the whole world falls into chaos because we don't listen to one another. 감사합니다. I see. Well, yes, I think everyone can have a good experience or a bad experience. I think it really depends who you talk to, right? But yes, I love having a real conversation from time to time. I find it very hard to have a conversation at clubs. You're always shouting, "Oh, where are you from?" And then apparently, they get that all mixed up in saying, I don't know. I've had moments where I don't know why I try to have a conversation in clubs, but it just never works. So that's why I just stopped going. Because it's just like, like, and then my friends are like, "You're an idiot. Like, why would you like try like having a conversation when the music is that loud?" And I was like, "I'm sorry." Yeah. So it's pretty funny. So when Corona is hopefully better, the world comes back, into one piece, I think definitely you'll definitely see me. I'll definitely go to each one of you. Personally, that would be great, but the whole team would go, and we're definitely gonna have a fun show together. So if you guys can, please stick with me through our journey. And I promise I will share with you guys what I've felt and what I will feel and what I've been feeling. And hopefully that can translate to you guys really well. So, yeah. Thank you, dear. I'll love to go to the Philippines. But yeah, anyway, I really do have to go now. 저는 이제 가봐야 될 것 같아서요. It was really fun. I always love our talks, our little secret talks. And I hope, and yeah, just stay appealed. I have a lot that I want to get out. But I'm glad that at least you guys, are with me on this journey. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in on the Ian podcast. It's a very interesting podcast. You could actually see me as well, live. Wait, do they do that in podcasts these days? Would that be a live podcast? Oh fuck, they already do that. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, it was fun. So till next time, stay appealed and stay happy, stay healthy, stay smiling, and yeah, guys, have fun. Good night. 전 이제 이만 자러 가보겠습니다.